So thank you all for joining us today for the session on natural skincare and beauty tips with Zahara Nedou. A little bit about the talk before we start. Conscious beauty is about ingredients and products that help you look and feel your best. It is also about focusing on the health and environment. In today's session, we'll talk about how we can go green with our skincare. Zahara, who's joining us today, will tell us how we can make our skincare more organic with natural ingredients. But before we start, a little bit about us, Sipping Thoughts. Sipping Thoughts is a multimedia company co-founded by Sukirti Gupta and Meeta Gudgutia. It was set up keeping in mind the tagline, Real Women, Real Thoughts. We are a no-judgment platform to create a network of women for women. Sipping Thoughts is available on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and of course, do check out our website. And now about the lovely Zahara. Born in Kashmir to a family that has been in the hotel and hospitality industry for the longest span, Zahara Nedou was raised in Delhi and studied at the British School. She went on to complete degrees in business management and marketing. After working with a number of luxury brands, Zahara launched her own organic and skincare brand known as Zahara Skincare. Her skincare brand boasts of selling products which contain zero chemicals, 100% natural, no animal testing, organically grown and harvested. The products are based on age-old family recipes from traditional Kashmir and Arab beauty regimes. And might I add, Zahara is joining us live from the beautiful and exotic Kashmir, where she spends a large part of her day growing and harvesting all the natural ingredients that go into her personal care products. I'm so envious, Zahara, right now. A little bit more about the house rules before we start. You're all on mute to avoid any background noise. So do unmute yourself when you're asking a question. Use the chat box to ask questions and post your comments. You can also raise your hand using the Zoom feature. Keep your videos on. We love to see those beautiful faces and the reactions. This session is also being streamed on Facebook and you can watch it later as well. And finally, please forgive us if there are any technological glitches. I'm Harika and I'll be hosting the show. So please feel free to reach out to me if there are any questions or issues. So let the magic begin. Hey, Zahara, lovely to have you here.
Thank you so much. What a beautiful introduction. Thank you everyone for joining. I would like to say that at some point, my internet is going to be a little iffy. You may not be able to hear me for like a second or two. It's because I'm in Kashmir. I'm high up in the mountains. I'm trying my very best to be as clear as possible. So yeah, thank you for having me and thank you everyone for joining. And then thank you for giving me the opportunity, Sipping Thoughts. What a beautiful concept.
So Zahara, let me start by asking you this question. What really is natural, or is there really something as a natural product? Because, you know, we hear a lot about anything that goes into a bottle or a package definitely needs to have chemicals in it.
So it's important to understand that the word natural can mean just about anything. It has no regulations on how it should be used. There are a lot of brands like mine and many others around the world who are kind of petitioning and saying, no, let the word natural be for what we all know it for. It means using natural ingredients. At the moment, you can pick up any bottle of anything and say, you know, natural strawberries infused in the bottle of shampoo. It means nothing, really. But if you take the terms that we are trying to fight for and try to push is use of real products, real ingredients in a particular item, a product, be a cream, be a shampoo. So for me, natural means it's something that's naturally grown from the ground, hand-picked, maybe even hand-pressed or handmade. For me, that constituents as natural. Apart from that, it's a very loose word to be used. So also natural ingredients is something that provides you with an effect, basically.
Okay.
Using something on the face, it should show an effect. If it doesn't show an effect, that means either it's used in a limited quantity or it's not good enough, it's substandard quality. So a lot of things go into the word natural. If you ask me a question of, but how do I choose which one is natural? Then we'll get down to how on a label you can tell how natural and how effective that product is going to be. But that, I think, over our talk, we can understand that better.
Yeah. So tell me, how did you really get into, I mean, from hospitality and business, how did you get into Zahara Skincare?
You know, I'm going to be honest with all of us. As you said, it's a non-judgmental platform. Yeah. So I, like most of us probably in this group, I was very fascinated with my grandmother's way of life. When I was 9 years old, I remember watching my Arab grandmother make her own shampoo, her own cream, her own. And for me, it was nice. It was like cooking like this rich brew almost in the kitchen. So I was really fascinated by that, and I kind of tend, because of that, I tend to stay away from chemicals. I also was pretty much using her shampoo growing up, or imitating her face pack. So the journey started very young. However, the turning point for Zahara Skincare was in 2017, sorry, 15. I was, because of this personal tragedy that happened, I was in a scientific, let's say like a scientific lab in America, in Minnesota, where there was this 15-year-old girl who had autoimmune that was killing her, basically. Mm-hmm. And all the scientists were working on her as a guinea pig. And she was 15 years old. And I remember having a chat with her, and she said, and her words really stuck to me. And she said, the only mistake was I didn't know better. I used products that was sold to me. I didn't know any better. And if I did, I wouldn't live this life. So in 2016, September, I came back and I said, I looked around and I was making that conscious change to be green as a person as much as I could. And I realized in India, we didn't have many options. And whatever options were coming our way were either too expensive to sustain your green life, or too cheap, where you were almost like, I'm not sure how real that is. Or is there any certification that tells me that's real? So Zahara Skincare actually started in September in 2017 we had like 10 products, and all of which were from my grandmother. And I just decided that, okay, let's take a chance and just make something. We don't know where it's going to go. Maybe it's going to go somewhere, maybe not. But the idea was to give everyone a chance to go green. Like, it doesn't have to be stone to wherever they want to go. So I try to make it not that expensive, the basic range. So it was easy for you to go to a store and pick up that and not think about, oh my God, it's so expensive. So officially it started September 2017. And honestly, I'm sitting here today and I always wonder, how did I get here? And so, yeah, I don't. It's really like, it's a journey which I would love to talk about more. And now we're in 3 different countries and we're doing really well. We have almost a 50 or 55 product catalog, which is amazing. It started from maybe 10. I can't remember. It was 10 or 12.
I was reading that you've been featured on Harper's Bazaar and all, which is mainstream.
Yes. And again, it's amazing because it's not something new I'm doing. I think the only thing that I'm doing new is that I'm bringing what Kashmir is known for out the valley. Because I think as a community, we're pretty tight within the valley. Not many people know what we do to stay fit or to stay healthy or ourselves. So all I'm doing is I'm just bringing that outside. There's nothing new that I'm bringing. All my products, they have a history behind it. There's a reason why there is a scrub made of that certain ingredient. And that's all I'm doing. I'm modernizing that so we can use it today. And yeah, it seems to be working. So it's nothing new I'm doing, really.
So I'm going to get the audience to maybe respond to a couple of things that are always there in our mind. And I'd love for you all to just put in there in the chat. So I want you to be able to tell me, do you think that the shelf life of natural products, as we understand, is it lower than chemical products? What do you think?
Come on, ladies and gentlemen, let's see.
Let's hear. Okay, so is it lower or is it... Okay, here's another one. Is natural and natural and organic, is it usually more expensive? I've always thought it's more expensive.
More expensive. Sukriti is saying more expensive.
Yeah, Jasleen also says it's higher. And also, finally, do you think that the natural products actually work as well as the ones that have chemical in them? You know, especially when we talk about things for our skin and where we need to, you know, where there's pigmentation, where there are blemishes. How does that work? Does it really work as well as chemical ones? We've got interesting responses.
Pretty awoke audience. I'm proud of all of you. Pretty awoke.
So Suman says it's expensive and the shelf life is lower. Nilava also says, and then Jasleen says there are no harmful effects, but perhaps, you know, it may not work as well. So good. Zahara, what is your take? Okay. You're the one who's the authority here.
You'll have to ask me the question again. Start from the first one.
Okay. So let's go with, is natural or organic more expensive? Tell me that.
Okay, if you look at the current situation in the country we live in, I would say if you go for a brand well known, yes, it is expensive. So okay. I would agree with whoever said natural is more expensive. I agree with that one. Second, in India specifically. Globally, if you're looking at it, it is not. It's cheaper than chemical because there's a vast variety which is certified, so you know it's pretty legit and real. But in India, it is expensive.
And is the shelf life lower?
Now, whoever said it was lower, I think I would like to bust that myth. No, the shelf life can be from a year to affinity. So I'll give you an example. If a product is using either rosemary oil or honey as a preservative, especially honey, honey can remain for 300 years without it being spoiled or something happening to it. So anything with the base of being honey, I mean, I'm saying natural, without any heating process or any process done to that honey, the product can be there for at least a year or two without it losing its goodness. After 2 years, the product still remains. You can still use the product, but the efficiency will obviously be less. But yeah, it remains forever, longer than the chemical ones.
And do they really work as well as chemical products, the natural ones?
Okay, another myth buster, which I want to break it down for everyone, is every single product, cosmetic product, the base of every one of them is a natural base. Like, you cannot make a product without natural base. Then what the companies do after that, they use the natural base and then they add their chemicals extra, either toxic ones or non-toxic ones, but they add more to that base. But every base is a natural base. Okay. And does it work faster? 100%. That's something I can vouch for my products. Is every product you will use, you will see the effect in at least 24 to 48 hours. Now, again, I'm not saying effect where your face skin will change to 180, but definitely from the time you used it before to the time after you used it, you can tell a significant difference.
Okay. So, maybe let's go back to the whole idea of natural and what are the natural ingredients. In fact, what is it that you use? You've talked about honey, you've talked about rosemary oil. Tell us, what is it that
so I want to start off with natural ingredients are the ones that nature provides us. Now, nature is very vast. That includes your fruits, your vegetables, your animal products, and by animal products, I mean animal excretions, basically. Okay. From your vegetation to your flowers, to spices, to the oils. I mean, it's a vast variety of ingredients we're working with. So let's take it as the usual ones that we use here in India are the locally grown ones. So it can be from South India, sandalwood, from lavender to Kashmir. So in terms of the natural world, we have a lot to work with. Each thing that we use has an amount of potency. So I will take, for example, I'll give you an example of an almond oil. Almond oil, everyone uses it, cold press, will have the goodness. See, let's give a number 10, which it'll do its magic in the highest potency it has is 10, like level 10. But if I bring in something like a snail slime, which I'm going to talk about, it'll do
Say that again.
The snail slime.
Okay, snail slime.
It's slime excreted by a specific snail.
Okay.
Let's compare the two products. So take a simple almond oil and a simple snail slime. Almond oil will only take your skin to a certain level. Then to up the level, you will get into the snail slime game, and your skin will be, say, 20 to 30. If almond oil is 10, using something else can get you higher. So each natural ingredient has a limitation and it has a potency level. So even in the natural world, you can use products which have higher potency, which can then later on show better results faster. So one of our really amazing trademark product in India is snail slime. It's something that's used in Kashmir almost 150, 175 years ago. And then it stopped. It stopped because, the world got more technology friendly. The world opened up. So we had chemical brands coming in. And it's a lot of effort to make the serum, basically.
Okay.
So last year, I decided, I used it. I think I was in Thailand last year. The year before, and I used it. They have similar things over there. And I realized that we used to have farms in Kashmir that used to harvest this. And this product itself is almost a cure to all skin issues. So we grew a farm and we found the snails. It takes, for one jar, I wish I could show you, a jar this big, something around this big. It takes 14 months for the serum to be made. So it's a very high potency natural ingredient. We take the slime, it's entire process of picking the slime from the snail. No snail is hurt in the process. We pick it off a glass or we pick it off leaves, and then we wash it in 3 different ways. The first, and with 3 different kinds of herbs. And you wash that snail slime 3 times over for the end product to come to you. And then even then in the end product, to make sure the product is not contaminated in any way, you add certain tests to check if the product is not contaminated during the process of washing the slime. And then eventually you add certain elements to it to make it a thick consistency of a serum. And then you sell it to the customer. So that's one. And the second one that we use, again, high potency natural ingredients, is bird's nest. Okay. Now, I don't know how many of you have heard of bird's nest. If you can just put in the chat that yes, you have. Again, it's a very traditional way of eradicating most of your skin problems and anti-aging. So this bird's nest is actually a bird like a swallow, and we use the secretion it has from its mouth, that when it makes its nest, it's sort of like a saliva that it uses to build that nest and put that nest together. So when we say bird's nest, we use the nest and we take the saliva out and we use it. Now, I had a lot of people asking me, asking me if any birds are hurt or we're hurting animals. The thing is, the bird comes, lays its eggs, the other birds, the baby birds fly away, and the nest is just left. What happens to the nest eventually are the ants or the other bugs that eat it. So what we do is we take that nest and we use the saliva from there. So going back to a lot of levels that we're working in. The higher the potency product that we use, the better and faster the results. In terms of plants, we have something now called the plant stem cell, which we have at Zahara Skincare. We make a serum out of it. We take stem cells from different plants which have high potencies. So we can take stem cells from a rose. We take stem cell from a leaf which makes I don't know what you call it in English, but it's a Kashmiri. It's like a herb we use here when we get hurt for bruises. And we use the plant stem cells of that, and we make these serums. These are 10 serums we give, and each serum will have an element of like gold in it, or pearl powder, or vitamin C, retinol. So 10 of them, a set of 10. Each one is different. It's a 20-day treatment, And in those 20-day treatments, you can see your skin literally do a one. Because it's so potent that you can see the difference between maybe after one vial use, which is 4 times. After using it morning, evening for 2 days, you can see your skin change in terms of hydration, anti-aging, many, many things. But going back to the process, that it all depends on the brand and how effective the brand wants to be. So what happens usually in India is any homegrown brand goes for the basic, natural, home recipes. So your almond oil, your neem oil. Again, very, very nice, very workable. They all work, but the potency level is very low. So when you ask the question, how long does it take between a natural and chemical? The reason people said it takes longer is because they're using low potency ingredients. The moment we change that, then I think every natural brand can show its full. Then going to things of not trying in the natural world, because even though there's so much to play with, there are a lot of other natural plants and fruits that you shouldn't be touching for your skin. You may be able to eat them, but you shouldn't be touching for your skin. So most people, I don't know about India, but where I live in the Middle East, they use a lot of coriander oil. And they say coriander oil is really good for blemishes, it's good for wrinkles. But if you look at it from a scientific point of view, there's more harm done using a coriander oil than there is harm, than there's any goodness from it.
Okay.
So coriander oil is one. Fennel in general on your skin should not be used. People say, oh, I'm going to put lemon juice all over my face because it's really good for, it's toning my face, or, as an astringent. That's a big no-no. Because what lemon does or lime does to your face is it breaks down the barrier naturally between your skin and the external environment. So you're exposing your skin to the sun, to the UV rays way more than me not wearing the lemon face wash or lemon on my face. Fir needles, I don't know if they use in India, fir trees. There's a lot. We use a lot of needles here, and we kind of press the needles. Again, high acidic level. There's walnut shells. I have actually a lot of people, if you go to market, you'll notice these scrubs that says walnut scrub, and walnut scrub and this scrub. And they market it so beautifully that you feel like, oh, that's really going to help me. But when you start using it, some of us who have sensitive skin will feel it's really harsh on our skin. What happens with walnut shells, almond shells, even peach, there's a scrub I use with peach shells, kernels in it. You are scratching the face by scrubbing your face with such a hard exponent. So
it's abrasive, right? It's abrasive.
So what it does is you may not see it physically from your eye, but if you look at yourself with a magnifying glass, you've given yourself at least 100 lesions while scrubbing your face, which in turn are open lesions, right? So you have the sun coming in, you've got the dust, you've got, the external world is pretty much exposed to your face.
Mm-hmm.
So anything which is harsh on your skin or hard is a big no-no, even though it is natural. We have cypress. Neem oil, actually, to be honest. A lot of people use neem oil. Again, neem oil in a certain amount and mixed with a carrier oil is a good thing. So say, for example, I get a bottle of neem oil, like I'm saying cold press, real neem oil, not the ones you get in the market, because that can be mixed with, so those are okay. But if I get freshly pressed neem oil, I'm going to use it with a carrier oil, like an almond oil, or like a walnut oil, or a coconut oil. I'm not going to use it by itself directly on my face. It's a very strong ingredient. So before you use any ingredient, you have to understand that if you're using something, nowadays we've got our phones in our hand, do a quick Google, about, is it okay, if it's safe for me to use cold pressed neem oil, for example? Is it okay for me to use it directly on my face? Is lemon okay to use all over my face? So it's just a question of being aware Because at this point, I feel everyone is sort of just selling everything. We're in a market right now where we're bursting with homegrown skincare, you know, or what they call natural or organic. Most of the brands don't really look into or research what they're giving the customer. For the customer, it sounds great. Neem oil hai, acha hai, I'm going to use it. But the truth is, it's not always good for you. And then that brings me to the point of looking at the label. So there's this couple of tricks that I have, which I make my customer aware of the label. Understanding the label is because large amount of companies, they use certain, you know, highlights one or two ingredients or one or two amazing qualities that they have in the jar that they'll highlight and say, oh, strawberry face wash or aloe vera infused or coconut, it's got some coconut flavoring, you know? So they'll use one particular highlight, which is a good selling point for me or for you, for everyone in this room. But is that the only thing that's in it? It is not. The label is that usually there's a rule of labels that when you read the back of the label, it's always in ascending order. So it has to, by law, put the most that there is ingredient that there is in the product on the top, and then go to the lowest one. So when you're reading the label, say for example, right now I've written, okay, this scrub has sweet almond oil in it. I know the amount of almond oil that's gone in this scrub of mine is higher than the rest of the other ingredients that goes in it. So the first thing to read is that what is the top number one ingredient that they're writing on the label. We all have our phones around us. Do a quick Google. Is it a chemical? Is it a non-chemical? What is it? And then you move on to the other ingredients. Now, second thing where people get confused is there are a bunch of ingredients that sounds like, huh, what is that? So for example, xanthan gum. What does it sound to all of you? Xanthan gum. Or cetyl alcohol. Or tocopherol. Sorry, I'm really bad on these names. These are all Latin names. So it sounds very chemically, but these are all Latin names to certain extracts of a plant or a fruit. So when you read these names, you don't have to say, oh my God, this sounds very chemically. They can also be natural ingredients, which are, you know, scientifically known as certain herbs and plants. So
but can any of these be manufactured as well? So xanthan gum, perhaps not, but the others. So how would you know the difference?
You can have, but see again, I was getting to the synthetic part of it. So I'm going to give you an example. If I'm going to go shopping, or you're going to go shopping, Harika, you're going to go to an aisle where you know, okay, these are in the natural organic section. I'm assuming we're going to go in that section. We're going to pick up it. In my head, I'm going to automatically assume that no harmful chemicals are in it. They may be chemicals, but they don't have to be harmful. Like, for example, there are a lot of chemicals we use which have the last word as acid. It sounds very scary, but actually it's just a chemical compound. It's not harmful. It's yet another chemical compound we use to keep the product maybe preserved or keep the product thicker. There are many things we use. So the easiest way to do is look at it ascending order. Don't get scared of the names. They can be natural names. Do a quick Google search. If you're comfortable, buy the product. If you're not, then leave it. But the idea is that you have to be aware of how to check the label.
Yeah.
Just because the front of it says strawberry or almonds or bursting with aloe vera doesn't necessarily mean that has enough of that ingredient. It could be the last bottle.
Just has a trace of it, and because
maybe
that's
a drop of an aloe vera. Yes. Also, the second thing, which in India is a huge problem, which is not fair, but by law, we as a label have a choice. It's not a law, but we have a choice of putting back 30% of our ingredient. We can hold back 30% of it.
Oh, okay.
As a law. But as a practice for most homegrown brands, I find it a responsibility to myself and to everyone who's using Zahara Skincare to put all the ingredients in there. Because I find it very scary if I pick up a brand knowing that 30% of it is hidden from me. And what is that 30%? And I have no right as a customer to ask them that. So I would ideally say read the labels, go for a brand which has some form of certification. If not certification, at least when you know that it is recognized. It's not just some lady sitting in Mirzapur making it out of, I don't know, where unhygienic way, which can be harmful for you. So a trusted brand, a brand which is recognized, a brand which, if it has certain certifications, great.
Zahara, I'm going to also ask you, because I think if you're okay, a lot of the audience is asking questions naturally about what they can use, in terms of the products, and the one that's really coming up is one is for pigmentation and acne. So maybe you can take that up for us. What do you prescribe, and what is good for our skin?
Okay, so acne it's a very broad spectrum. So it could be acne because, you being a teenager. It could be adult acne due to gut health. It could be acne because of food allergy you have. So acne, in a broad sense, are many reasons why it happens. Acne actually is a way of your skin and body telling you there's something wrong. So let's bar the hormonal acne and let's talk about regular just acne happening. There's a really simple trick that you can use apart from what I'm going to tell you otherwise is on the spot of the acne, just with an earbud, take the lemon and like a nimbu and just put it on that particular spot, not all over your face, as I mentioned, on that spot. And you'll see by the next maybe 4 to 6 hours, that particular acne would have disappeared. So anything citric, but for me, lemon works, and it works the most powerful way. Apart from that, we have serums. We have a lot of creams for acne. The idea of acne is basically trying to let it go naturally without it leaving a scar. So lemon is one. Gram flour is another one. Do not scrub your face if you have red, raw acne. It just makes it worse. Cool the acne down with aloe vera. Cool the acne down with ice. First, your skin at that point is angry. Calm your skin down before you use anything. So when I see myself having redness or spots, I usually will go for an ice or I'll go for an aloe vera pack, which I would put on that spot just to cool the redness down. And then I would use something citric. So maybe a lemon or even a papaya, because papaya has a lot of citric acid in it. So maybe just put a little papaya here.
We just thought about tea tree oil. Does that also work?
Okay, and tea tree oil using a carrier oil. You can't put directly tea tree oil. So I'll mix a little tea tree oil with maybe a coconut or an almond, a drop here, and then just put that on the spot. Using a lot of people do that, but it's not really good for your skin. It's too strong for your skin.
Okay, all right.
Should we use sunscreen every day? Yes, absolutely. Sunscreen should be your best friend for pigmentation and acne and anti-aging. It works through the gamut of the skin problems we have, sunscreen. Going to pigmentation, again, pigmentation are due to two things. One is sun exposure, and the other one is gut health. So there's a lot of things that we don't realize are related to our gut. Pigmentation is usually, if it's sun-related, sunscreen is amazing. You have to hydrate your face a lot and sort of protect it from direct sunlight. So if you have pigmentation somewhere between honey and lemon, half a lemon squeezed in honey, and maybe a little bit of gram flour in it, and turmeric, and just face pack twice or thrice a week, you'll see your pigmentation lightening up. At night is where we take in most of our products. So a nighttime regime should be stronger than a daytime. So at night, maybe having a little bit of turmeric and mix it with yogurt, put it on your face, leave it on for 10 minutes, wash your face off. That's really good for pigmentation. Banana is really good for pigmentation as well. But yes, sunscreen is what I would tell everyone as well. After you've done all this, put your sunscreen on and go outside like a warrior. Anti-aging, look, we're all going to age at some point. It's about aging slower and more gracefully. Anti-aging is usually because of dehydration of your skin. So let me talk about this incident that happened with our Zenab collection, which is a plant stem cell one I was talking about. It's basically, it penetrates in your skin deeper than most of the products we've had so far. And what skin. So within 20 days of that particular treatment, you will see your skin less wrinkly, less fine lines, way more plumper, way more tighter, because you have given your skin hydration from inside.
Zahara, can you repeat that? Because you just dropped off for a bit.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to start. Where did you guys lose me?
The actual ingredient and what
the ingredients for, yeah.
Oh, okay. So the plant stem cell that we use, it goes deeper than most serums that there are in the market right now. So what it does in those 20 days of the treatment is it hydrates your skin on such deep levels that by the time 20 days happens, you can physically see your wrinkles sort of lessen, your skin more plumper. It has way more bounce. It is way more happier. It's got little blood flow happening in there because you've hydrated it from maybe the third or fourth level of your epidermis. These are the plant stem cells that we sell. So the idea of anti-aging really is to lock in the moisture and to keep your skin hydrated from the inside as deep as possible. Again, if you're asking me a DIY, my favorite DIY are two of them, and they're really easy to do. Just do them twice a week. One is take a ripe banana, you put that in the bowl, add half a lemon, add a little bit of honey. You can add almond oil if you want, a few drops, and just mix it up. And you can wear it on your face for 10 minutes, twice a week, and wash off. Right after you do that, you have to hydrate your skin. So either use your cream or your oil or your serum right after you do any face pack, because you want to lock the goodness inside your face.
So Zahara, take us slowly through that face pack. I think people may want to take notes. The ripe banana.
The ripe banana.
Yeah.
Half a lemon. You've got a little bit of almond oil, maybe half a teaspoon of almond oil. In almond oil, you can use whatever oil suits you. Again, each skin is has more potential using, I would say wherever you're from, use your local produce. So if you're in South India right now, use your coconut oil, because that oil is something that your skin is used to. It's in your DNA, so it will work better for you. So you can use your almond oil or coconut oil or whatever region you are in, whatever local oil you have, mix it up, wear it on your face for around 10 minutes. And then after 10 minutes, wash it off and immediately use your cream or oil or serum. Because the idea of any face pack is to lock in the moisture, is to lock in the goodness. So that's good for pigmentation as well as anti-aging, the banana one.
Okay, I'm going to ask Ruchika Daga to ask her question. It's something that a lot of the others have also asked. So Ruchika, unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, Zahara, and hi, Harika. Thank you for letting me ask my question. This is about hair fall and maybe hair growth, because a lot of times, because of the water and health, or maybe because that, we've undergone a lot of chemicals and medical procedures, delivering babies and all that, the hair has started falling tremendously. So maybe you could give us a solution, for maybe lesser hair fall or hair regrowth.
Well, you said it very rightly, Ruchika. The hair fall is related to, again, a gamut of things. Could be hormonal. We being women, we have a lot of hormonal change that keeps happening. So it could be hormonal. It could be because basic aim that we are trying to get at is we're trying to keep the hair from losing too much and as much as regrowth as possible. So the honest truth is regrowth can happen, but regrowth takes a long time. And in that regrowth, we also have the tendency of doing straightening our hair, curling our hair. So even in that regrowth, we lose a bunch of hair, correct? So the thing I can give you, a trick that I've learned from my grandmother is, even if you wash your hair 3 times a week or 4 times a week, 30 minutes before washing your hair, nourish your hair, number one. How are you going to nourish it? What food does the hair want? It wants high omega food. So you can take an onion and take the onion juice from it. You can take ginger, take the juice of the ginger. You can take, again, your local oil or any oil that you find. I would personally say between a walnut oil, a castor oil. Between these 2 oils, you can't go wrong because they have the highest level of omega fat in it. So using that on your scalp. And now what I do as a lazy person is I make a bowl, I take a little bit of cotton, and then just where I want that specific spot, I just rub it on that spot and leave it for 30 minutes. You have, as well as, you have fennel seeds that you can soak a night before and use those fennel seeds, crush them and use them as a powder into that mix. Methi seeds, which is I think fennel.
No, fennel is soft. Fennel is soft, isn't it?
Yeah, methi seeds as well. You can soak that and then powder them the next day and put them in that. So it kind of becomes like this wet pack. And you can put that pack on your hair and wait for 30 minutes and then take a shower. Now, I'm going to break it down to you one more time here. I love breaking myths down. When you're in the shower,
We lost you for a bit, so you'll have to repeat that.
When you're in that shower, what shampoo do you use?
So when we're in the shower, maybe we can have our audience tell us. When they're in the shower, what is the shampoo that you use? That's Zahara's question.
Dove.
Maybe Nile or Dove or Head and Shoulders.
Yeah.
Labels.
That's what's going wrong, right? Because you're doing all this for your scalp, and then you're going right in the shower and undoing what you've done. So basically, you're on zero yet again. The idea is to switch. The biggest switch you're going to make for yourself to go and lead a healthy green life is your shampoo and conditioner. That should be your first switch. Now, the reason I say that is because we as women, and I'm sure there's some men here as well, but women have, when they wake up in the morning, by the end of the evening, we've used 6 chemicals into our bloodstream every single day.
Repeat that again.
We are using 226 different chemicals on a daily basis from the time we open our eyes to the time we shut it. I mean, obviously on a day, one here, there, there'll be less. Maybe I didn't wash my hair today, so it'll be lesser. But on an average, that's how much chemical we're using. So the first switch, Ruchika, you're going to make is you're going to go and find yourself a good shampoo, an organic, real good shampoo. With everyone needs to know this. With chemical shampoo, what it does is, if you can Google this, Mayo Clinic came out with this beautiful study.
Yeah.
Chemical shampoo coats your scalp with a sort of layer. And that layer over our shampoo gets thicker and thicker, and it doesn't let any oil or anything penetrate to our scalp. It's like building a road, right? So you keep putting tar on it, tar on it, tar on it. So if it bottom. So that's a hair pack you can use. Always, when you take the day you take a head bath, use an oil. Give yourself some blood circulation over there. You'll be fine. You'll see hair loss less. Try to have supplements as well, because in our day and age, we don't eat very healthy. We have high stress levels. And I would love to show you my box of supplements. There's a huge box of supplements. So you can have moringa, you can have spirulina, you can have neem, you can have a lot of B complex vitamins. Biotin is really good for hair and nails.
But do we need a prescription for that? I mean, for nutraceuticals or for supplements?
These are all natural things that you can actually get from food. But because we don't eat that raw food, it doesn't come to our body that easily. or we don't get like an idea of it. Say, for example, as an Indian diet, we eat a lot of vegetables.
Yeah.
So amazing for us, but how much do we cook that onion for that onion to give us any goodness out of it? By the time it's cooked, there's nothing left of it. Or spinach, for example. So it's best to have supplements with our day and age that we live in for our hair and nails.
So can we make a natural shampoo?
Yes, that is what I was about to ask. Something, which will let us keep the goodness of the pack that we have on.
Well, everyone can make a natural shampoo. As I said, we've got Google and YouTube happening. But the truth is, do we have time to make a natural shampoo? At least I know for a fact that most of us won't have time to make it. Secondly, you can go wrong with, as a layperson, you can go wrong with the amount of ingredients you are putting. And say, for example, a bentonite clay, which goes into our shampoo. Now, if I didn't know how to make it, or say I gave Ruchika make the shampoo, here's the ingredients list, she may put a little bit more of a bentonite clay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it has adverse effects on my hair. So I wouldn't, unless and until I'm 100% sure of my capability, I wouldn't use it. I wouldn't try to make my own. Because there's a lot of ingredients that goes in it which can eventually have adverse effects to you.
Okay. I'm going to let Nupur ask her question because it's again related, but it's something that all of us at some point indulge in. Go ahead, Nupur.
Yeah, hi. So I would like to know what is the natural colors we can use. I have not been dyeing my hair at all. I want to stay away from chemicals, but I want to know what are the. I mean, henna is a very, very basic thing, but it gives the red color to our hair, which is really nice.
Okay, indigo is one good one. If you want, if I'm looking at your hair color right now, you can go for indigo powder. So indigo is one. You can add coffee to your indigo powder to make it a little more browner shade. Hibiscus to make it a little more mahogany shade, but the base should be indigo. You get indigo powder from many brands online as well.
Yeah.
But the base for you can be indigo because you can't, the unfortunate part is that you can't, currently in India, you can't go lighter with natural. But there's a brand around the world called Aveda, Aveda, which I use, which has a gamut of natural organic colors. Again, it's a scientific brand. It's out of a lab, so they make it really well. You can use Aveda. I don't know if it's available in India. But in India, for now, I would say stick to your indigo powder, and then you can add certain elements to that powder to make it lesser, redder, pinker, browner, and change the color around. But the base will be dark.
Okay. Thank you.
Zahara, we spoke a little bit about the acne. Does pimples also get covered under that? Because there's a lot of concern over over pimples as well.
Well, as I said, for acne, try to use as much as, sorry, the light, I hope it's not disturbing many people. But try to use anything, if you have an oily, if it's oily acne, try to suck out the oil of your skin. So try to use clay-based products. So the 3 clays that you can use out of many clays, you have bentonite, any product which says bentonite clay. You have multani mitti in India. You have kaolin clay, also available in the region. And you have French pink clay, French green clay, Gasul clay. So these are 5 major clays that you can play around with. If you feel your skin is a bit oily, then you can just buy yourself a simple, out of these 5 simple clays.
Okay.
And pick out in clay face pack.
We lost you a bit. You may need to repeat the thing.
So I'm gonna give you the 5 clays, which is easily available in India. So there's bentonite, there's kaolin, there's Fuller's Earth, which is multani mitti. There's French Gasul clay. Then there's French clay, which is in pink and green.
Okay.
So these are all products. If you can look at the label, if you have acne and it's a persistent acne, look at the label and try to go for a clay-based product, which you can use once a week. So if I have extremely dry skin, And I have acne once in a while because of food allergies that I have. I have a gluten allergy. So if I eat gluten, I have some acne spots coming in. So for that, maybe once a week, I use a clay-based product with a disinfectant in it. So maybe I'll use a bentonite clay product, a face pack with haldi in it, or it has extract. Lavender is really good for antifungal. And I'll put that once a week or twice a week for 10 minutes and then wash it off. So clay-based for acne, clay-based product is a good thing.
Okay, I'm going to invite Seema. Seema Seth, you want to ask your question?
Thanks, Harika.
Hi, yeah, go ahead.
I use a lot of rose water on my face. I mean, I actually wash my face in the morning and I keep spraying. Is that good for the skin, or do you think that how does that help?
You and me are definitely twins. I use a lot of rose water.
Very good.
Yes, it's amazing. It's really, really good for your skin. Again, I'm hoping you're using good, trusted brand of a rose water and not something which you may or may not have extra bits in it.
Forever, I've been using Dabur rose water, Gulabari. I don't know. I mean, that's the product I buy mostly.
Well, the thing is, if you're happy with it and it's doing well on your face, please continue it. Rose water is actually really good. I try to use that, as you said, in the morning to wash my face with. And I also tone my face in the evening with rose water. So, and in fact, any mist water is really good for your skin. So it could be rose water, turmeric water, lavender water. Any water is very good for your skin. But rose water is something that I think everyone should have. I recommend that in everyone's skin regime. It just picks up your skin and it's great for anti-aging. As everyone can see, Seema's skin is really amazing.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. Thanks, Harika.
Okay, Aparna Dhawan, go ahead and ask your question. It also applies, I think, to a lot of us. Do we still have Aparna with us?
Someone asked me a brand of rose water. I'll tell you a story. So when Zahara Skincare had to come up with rose water is the easiest thing to come up for any brand. I think it takes one day. It's not rocket science at all. But ours took 3 months to come out. And a lot of my friends and family were like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Because I'm such a rose water fan, I wanted Zahara Skincare rose water to be amazing. So what we did differently was
We'll just have Zahara back. I think Kashmir, the network is perhaps testy.
Yes, we are lucky that we even get this much.
Yeah. I think there's a, Suki, there's a lot of talk. Hi, Zahara, good to have you back.
Sorry, did I go out?
For a bit, yeah. So we lost you.
The basic aim was my rose water had spring water instead of distilled. Our rose water very different from everyone else.
Okay. I'm going to also quickly ask you for something to help with dark circles, because we've got a lot of questions on, how to counter dark circles.
Okay, dark circles are 3. Sorry, is the light bothering everybody? Because I really want to put this down.
Maybe you, you can, if it perhaps
gives possible.
Yeah, give me a minute. Is it better? Oh, it's still the same.
Ma'am, can we
maybe
towards opposite side बैठ सकते हो, towards window? Yeah, opposite.
Yeah, I'm just over this side, behind the window.
और थोड़ा.
Okay, here. Is this better?
You're back to the window.
Yeah, it's better.
Okay, so we're talking about dark circles. Dark circles are due to 3 things: hereditary, that you cannot change, gut health, and stress and sleep. 3. If you're talking about just stress and sleep, then yes, there are a lot of products you can use under your eye to fix that. If it's between gut health and hereditary, you can still get rid of them, but it'll take longer. And it may or may not come back, keep coming back and keep going, lightening and darkening. It's a play of light and dark. What you can use under your eyes is coffee. So take good organic coffee, mix it with your almond oil, make a little bit of a paste out of it, and just under your eye over here, you can put it like this for 10 minutes, maybe twice a week. And you'll see a huge difference because of the caffeine. When you go to sleep at night, you can use and as a face oil, and you can go to sleep. You can use...
What was the face oil, Zahara, that you can put?
Almond oil.
Almond
so
again? All right.
Vitamin E. So you can use even, what I do is sometimes I break vitamin E pills into the almond oil, and I will just rub it and very gently rub it with my ring finger under my eyes. So that takes care of the puffiness as well as the dark circles. Then we have our under eye cream, which is 24 karat gold and ghee. So I would also suggest maybe if you just have good organic ghee, it'll be a slower process because in our case, the gold makes it faster. But even if you have good organic ghee, you can use that under your eye before you go to bed at night. You'll see a difference. But so, you have to realize the three.
I guess we have to wait for the good things to come to us.
Yes, definitely. So we hope that she will be able to join back. I think somebody's asking about the recording. Yes, the recording will be available on our Facebook page.
Yeah, Zahara, you're back.
Zahara is back, yes.
She needs to unmute herself.
Zahara, just unmute yourself. Yeah.
Sorry. Again, I apologize, everyone. It is Kashmir. I really can't help it.
Go ahead. We were talking about the ghee and under eye.
Yeah, so just take a bit of ghee, organic ghee, if you can find. Go to bed at night. I think it should work as well. Ghee has the qualities.
Okay. So Deepika is asking a question. Deepika, do you want to ask it? Go ahead, unmute yourself. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you so much. I just want to check, like, what would be the star product we should start off with Zahara Skincare?
I'm very shy. If you ask me to sell my products, I'm really bad at it.
No, because I keep going on Instagram constantly and trying, should I get this? Should I get this? Should I try this? Should I try that? What should I start with? I keep bothering even the Insta chat as well. What should I start with? So I'm a little confused because
I think if you're on our Insta, I really do. Once in a while, I'll go to two people that run my Instagram and I always clap in their face. I'm like, wow, you guys are my stars. We have such a 3 entry products, which I feel are not too expensive. If you're a new person to Zahara Skincare, they're not very expensive, and it's a good entry point. And from there, you can always build up. So the 3 major entry point products are: we have a face pack called Shine Bright Like a Diamond. It's a power-packed face pack, like power pack. I swear by it. It's an literal instant glow. Like you can put off the light and you can just see yourself glow. And it's a great hydrator, and it's also eventually very good for pigmentation. But again, as I told you in the beginning, the level of potency is not as high as a snail slime, for example. But it's a really good entry product if you're looking to enter our world. Then we have our apricot oil, which is also very good. And then I would say in the entry point, my star product is a cherry oil. The cherry oil has a mix of saffron and turmeric oil. What that does is the results are phenomenal. You'll see your skin glow. You'll literally see pigmentation lighten up by half the bottle. Yeah, by half the bottle, you see pigmentation lighten up. And you'll overall see a very nice, happy skin. So these three, between my apricot, shine bright, and cherry, are my entry products. I won't say star. My star at the moment, which is killing it, is 3 products. It's snail slime serum, is the Zenith collection, which is a plant-based stem cell collection, and the Instaglow, which is a bird nest cream. Those 3, according to me, is my star product.
Thank you, Zahara.
And they sound extremely exotic as well.
Yeah, they're fun.
Well, we're at 6 o'clock. The questions, of course, keep coming, and it's just, yeah. And this is a topic that's almost close to everybody's heart, and you don't know who to trust, where to go. So thank you so much for sharing all that you do. I just want to say that we are still, we will be live in terms of recording. You can see us again on Facebook. You can go back and note down all the tips that Zahara has shared here. Thank you so much for joining us. Is there anything else in the end, Zahara, that we didn't take from you that you can just quickly share with us?
No, I'm just going to share a little bit of my advice. I mean, I'm sure all of you here are very smart and are on this platform because we all understand that health is really important. My only urge to everyone is try to make that switch. Don't be that girl who is used as a guinea pig just because she wasn't given an option. All of you have kids at home. All of you are responsible for some loved one or the other. The choice actually is with a woman at home because she's the one who usually buys the product for her family and friends. So if you're that person who's going out there and buying stuff, be it shampoo, conditioner, cream, choiceable, try to keep yourself and your kids safe because using chemicals on a daily basis does and has proven to have adverse effects and horrible health effects. So just stay safe and make a good choice. That's all.
And sometimes use less, but use the ones that are better for you.
Absolutely. Spend more if you have to use it less, but try to avoid it as much as possible.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us today from Kashmir. We hope we can come and see your farms someday soon.
Please.
All right. And thank you all for joining us. And we can, thank you.
Bye.